Mary Alphabet, A to Z, published in 1888 by the McLoughlin Brothers. Found in the public domain on childrensbooksonline.org. Mary Alphabet, A to Z. A was an archer who shot at a frog with an arrow that might have been shorter. He shot at a frog that sat on a log and made it jump into the water. B was a butcher who had a big dog, always on hand for a powwow. It would bite, it would bark, from daylight to dark. Oh, you should have heard it bow wow. C was a captain, all covered with lace, with sword and with trinkets to rattle. He was fond of fine clothes, but you need not suppose that he ever took part in a battle. D was a doctor who rode in a gig, and many good people attended. And when they were ill, he gave them a pill, and soon their diseases were mended. A, B, C, D. E is an engineer firm at his post, to rules and to signals no strangers. Of his train he takes care and the passengers there, and whistles, down brakes, when there's danger. F was a farmer who followed the plow and planted his seeds in their season. He could rake, he could hoe, he could reap, he could mow, and was proud of his farm with good reason. G was a glutton who ate like a pig, with his nose quite into the platter. But though he would stuff, he could not get enough, and he kept on growing fatter and fatter. Kids don't believe that. H was a hunter who went with his gun, where rabbits and squirrels were plenty. Much powder and shot he wasted, but not one hit did he make in 20. I was an Indian ready for war. In boldness no white man could match him, and when on his steed he rode off with speed, 'twas no easy matter to catch him. J was a jockey who rode a fine horse. His colors were red and yellow. He rode at such pace that he won a great race and was voted a splendid fellow. K was a king who sat up on a throne and thought he could live in a clover. But so bad was he found that the people around were glad when his reign was over. L was a lady who had a white hand, all covered with beautiful rings. She could knit, she could sew, she could play, and I know do many more ladylike things. E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T. M was a miser who hoarded up gold just for the love of such treasure, and never a cent on clothing he spent or for anything else that gave him pleasure. N was a newsboy who ran through the street, intent upon selling his papers, and when all were sold, as I have been told, he cut up ridiculous capers. O was the organ that stood in the church. Oh, the organist played it in such a fine way, it gave joy every day to the organ builder who made it. P was a parson who wore a black gown, the Bible he kept ever near him, and so well did he preach and such good lessons teach that the young and the old went to hear him. Q was a quarrel twixt two little boys, and both were so greatly offended that they fought till one of them thought to cry quarter, and then it was ended. R was the racket they used as a bat. Richard and Robert and Dennis, when they met on the lawn, where the net was outdrawn for their favorite game of lawn tennis. C was a sailor who followed the sea, and none were so grey as his lordship, this jolly Jack Tar who knew every spar and was always at home when aboard ship. T was a tailor who mended a coat, oh, but his fingers were nimble. The seams were all pressed by a goose, and the rest was done with a needle and thimble. U, V, W, X, Y, Z. U, an umbrella, was born over the head of a dear little urchin named Billy, when a sudden gust came, and oh, what a shame! 'Twas changed to a big water lily. V was the vase in a missing valise, W the watchman who found it, X was the $10 bill he had then, with 2 or 3 extra around it. Y was a yacht that bore a blue flag and sailed off with speed so amazing that she and her crew received their just due, and they were worthy the prize and the praising. Z was a zany, a silly young goose who thought it would be very jolly to stay out of school and to act like a fool, but he lived to repent his folly. Merry Alphabet A to Z, published by the McLoughlin Brothers in 1888. Public domain, found on childrensbooksonline.org.